I want to know what makes cells tick. I'm very fascinated how a bunch of cells can come together. And that process is beautiful. The images we have are rich, they have a lot of meaning behind them, and the beauty is a way to convey the science. So if we can attract people by the beauty first, they may want to know what we do, how we work. It can be anything from a storm, to a cell in a dish, to a butterfly twittering in the leaves. And the idea was to actually have this Project Cool Images be a contest that is science art. It can be photography, microscopy, medical imaging. The whole point of the contest is how do people use imaging tools to understand how nature around you works. So it's not just a pretty image, hopefully it can get you excited by the science.
My husband told me about this contest. So I take a lot of microscope images, and he said that I should enter at least one of them. Having these images, this art that kind of represents science, can really make it more approachable and relatable to the general public.
As scientists, it can be hard to help the public to understand, and anything we can do to help communicate is a good thing.
And so we're looking for things that really convey the diversity of the research on campus. But the key thing of all of them is they were inquisitive. They had a question, and they were trying to use that tool, whether it's a basic camera, a magnifying glass, or a fancy microscope, to try to understand what made that process tick.
It's a common thing to get a tick, and I thought it would be kind of a fun image to share. The tick came off my leg. Oh my gosh, I have a tick. I was a bit freaked out, but I thought, you know, this tick was torturing me. I'm going to torture the tick. So I decided to put it in the freezer, and then I put it in the microscope to get an image of it. This was a good opportunity to sort of show people what the tick looks like at a microscopic level. And so I decided, oh, this is the perfect image to enter in this contest. It's revealing a whole world that may be right there, you know, right there on your own body, that you have no idea exists.
I love Twitter, and I was on Twitter one day and I see this picture of someone who had made a pinhole camera and had done some long exposure photography with it. So I did a little research, see what it took to make one myself. In a pinhole camera, you have light that's going through that pinhole and then striking the photosensitive paper. On the summer solstice of 2013, I went up to the top of Sterling Hall and set up my pinhole camera. And about 6 months later, I took it down. For 6 months, the sun just bombarded it with photons. I processed the images, and I was actually like super pumped when I first saw it. I had no idea if I was just gonna take it out and it was just gonna be a blank piece of paper. And I took it out, and there was the arcs, and that was incredible. That was a really cool moment. Even though this was sort of a science-based project, the end result was a form of art.
I study plant-insect interactions. Most people don't get to see insects up close. For my research, we go out to this huge garden of trees, and then we survey every single tree, and we try to find all the insects and anything that's hard to identify, such as tiny little eggs. I take photos and I identify it. What you put underneath the microscope, you'll see on the computer screen. It has these little LED lights to kind of shine them up really bright so you can see all the little details. The stink bug eggs are very common, but they're so tiny and most people never notice them. You'd be amazed by how intricate and detailed they are. It's just a whole nother world, really.
The intersection of science and art, it inspires people.
It could be a young kid wanting to get into science. It could be somebody that actually just wants to understand how cancer works. Hopefully get people engaged is all we're looking for.
Having an appreciation for science and also a basic understanding of science really helps everyone. We can communicate better together.
We can actually kind of a window to the scientific world.
I hope that people get a sense of wonder and awe.